Morning guys. Today we're going to take a look at page 3 of the Unit 5 Classwork packet. The focus for today is classifying triangles according to first angles and then by sides. When we say classify a triangle according to angles, we're really saying, well, which category does it fall in? Take a look at the couple of diagrams that you have there where it says by angles. If you have 3 acute angles, meaning smaller than 90 degrees in a triangle, then I would call the triangle acute. If by contrast, I have one obtuse angle, meaning if even one angle is bigger than 90 degrees, that triangle is called obtuse. If I have one 90-degree angle in a triangle, that automatically makes it a right triangle. And if I actually have 3 congruent angles, right, where each one is 60 degrees, that means that my triangle is that special case, which is equiangular. And in a later chapter, you might refer to as regular as well. So with that being said, let's take a look at the example that's given here, examples 1 through 5, and let's classify them together. First off, triangle CDE. Okay, so where's CDE? CDE. Well, there's a right angle, so that automatically makes it a right triangle. Now let's take a look at triangle BCE. Okay, so BCE, notice that this angle is big, right? It's bigger than 90 degrees. That automatically makes this an obtuse angle, which makes it an obtuse triangle. Now let's take a look at number 3, triangle ABE. What do these tick marks mean, guys? Remember? The 3 tick marks mean that all 3 angles are the same. That makes it equiangular. You can also call it an acute triangle because each angle is technically smaller than 90 degrees. But the better name in this case would be an equiangular triangle. Number 4, triangle BDE. Let's take a look. All right, so BDE, well, notice this big angle right here is actually bigger than 90 degrees. So therefore, that makes it an obtuse triangle. And for number 5, let's take a look at CFE. CFE. I don't know about you, but I think all 3 of those angles look pretty darn small. So that would make it an acute triangle. More formally, I would say that it's an acute triangle because the measure of each angle is less than 90 degrees. Okay? All right, next up, classifying triangles by sides. Many of you guys actually remember doing this way back in, I don't know, maybe like late elementary school or something, but you maybe haven't used it in a while. So let's just go back over just to be safe, okay? When we're classifying a triangle by sides, if all 3 sides are congruent, meaning the same, we call it equilateral. Let me say that again. All 3 sides the same, equilateral. Equi meaning equal, and lateral meaning sides. If by contrast only 2 sides are the same, we would call that isosceles. And last but not least, if it's that sad situation where there are no sides that are congruent, then I would just call the triangle scalene. S-C-A-L-E-N-E. With that being said, let's take a look at examples 6 through 8 and see if we can classify that triangle. All right, first up, we're looking at triangle JKM. All right, JKM. Okay, JKM. Guys, do any of those sides look the same? No, for that huge triangle, none of the sides are the same, so I would classify it as scalene. For triangle KLN, let's take a look at that one. KLN. Do you notice these tick marks right here, how they're the same? What that means is that those 2 sides are congruent, and thus I have an isosceles triangle. Last but not least, triangle JKN. Let's take a look at that. JKN. Well, all 3 sides are the same. That automatically makes it equilateral. Okay? So the big idea here is that there are two different ways to classify a triangle. I can classify it according to angles, meaning acute, right, obtuse, or equiangular. Or I can classify according to sides, which is scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. Okay? Now, just looking very briefly at the examples on the following page, page 4, let's go through them together. Number 9 would be isosceles right. because there are two congruent sides and there's a right angle. Number 10 would be an obtuse scalene. I can't say it's isosceles because there's no tick marks to prove that to me. Number 11 would be equilateral and equiangular. Number 12, because no sides are the same and because all the angles are smaller than 90, I would say it's an acute scalene. Number 13 would be a right scalene. And number 14, because two sides are the same and one angle's bigger than 90, I would say that it is an isosceles obtuse triangle. Okay? Just make sure that on a unit test, if they ask you to classify it according to sides, you make sure that you use the right words. A lot of times people they don't read the question, they just start spewing out vocabulary words. Make sure that you read whether they're asking you to classify according to sides or classify according to angles.